Shalom, shalom. I want to first start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Barakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us his truth in the spirit of power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm Shaquat, and I'm back here with another lesson, Lord willing and edifying to the hopeful elect. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatum, to you sincere Akyom, or Akwath. And a sincere shalom to you brothers out there pushing this truth, out there on the highways and the byways, and through the YouTube lessons, man. Shalom. Alright, so as you see by the title of this lesson, is titled The Electra Complex / Penis Envy. Alright, I blotted out part of that word, so, it doesn't cause any controversy with YouTube, but the Electra Complex / Penis Envy, and we're going to watch a video that the Elder Manata Zakba uploaded, and this is, Evite basically just spewing her madness, and you can get the sense of why. When you see the video, you're going to understand why I entitled this lesson the way that it is, so yeah, and this Electra Complex thing is something that I've studied, a good amount before, as I had to learn it, given certain circumstances. But yeah, Electra Complex is real. So is the Oedipus, but this is not about men. This is about women. The Electra Complex is basically the female version of the Oedipus complex, right? And you're gonna see, because we're gonna go into it, but we're gonna play this video first. All right, so here we go.
Hebrew Israelites walking up and down the streets of Atlanta by the State Farm Arena as if they are some type of militant group, and they're purple and gold like they're Q dogs really takes me back to the time that my deconstruction started to begin. Honestly, I can make up multiple part series on it, but just to put things short, yes, I grew up in the...
And before we go on, let's go to that word deconstruction. Go to it, because this is something a lot of feminists use these type of words, basically talking about, we're going to see deconstruction in a human sense. There we go. AI overview. In a human sense, deconstruction is the process of examining and dismantling the deeply ingrained beliefs, assumptions, and narratives that shape one's identity and worldview. This critical reevaluation is one's foundational perspectives, is often triggered by a significant life event or personal crisis, and can be both painful and liberating. All right. So it's basically when someone questions their core beliefs. It's basically when someone tries to reprogram their mind, right? Someone tries to reprogram their mind to something else outside of what they've learned over the course of their life. And when you watch this video, you see she grew up on Christianity, and then she says the Hebrew Israelites reminded her on why she deconstructed from Christianity. Basically means put off Christian morals and things of the sort, right? And why did she do that? Because she's a feminist, okay? And let's get that word feminist. She's a feminist. This is why she's doing this, all right? Because basically the Bible speaks down on women in a sense, and I wouldn't even say it's speaking down on a woman. Feminist. I wouldn't even say it's speaking down on women. It's just the natural order of things. It's only seen as talking and speaking and viewing women, looking down on women now in this day and age, because this society has bigged women the hell up. So now they're not in their rightful estate and order. Now it seems like everybody's going down, looking down and talking down on women, when no, that was just the natural order that the Heavenly Father set up from the beginning. Because Esau plagued your minds, right? And y'all think y'all better than what you are. Now it looks like you're being talked down on, you're being frowned upon, being seen as less, right? Which ultimately, this is technically being, the scriptures technically do view women as less, right? They're lesser than men, but it wasn't seen that way, all right, way back when. That was just how it was. But Esau has plagued the minds of these women so much that now everything just looks is being demonized, no matter what. It's just insane work. Okay, so feminist, it says a feminist is someone who supports feminism, which is the belief in or advocacy for the social, economic, and political equality of all genders. All right, and the thing is, we're not equal. All right, it says the feminine movement was evolved through different waves with early goals including women's suffrage, the right to vote, and the right to work outside the home, which I don't know why y'all wanted to do that anyway, because now y'all complaining about it. Ain't that funny? Y'all complaining about having to work. Yeah, bitch, stay in a woman's place and go sit in your ass in that house and clean the house up, man. Cook some food, take care of the babies. All right? You're a misogynist. You're a misogynist. You're a sexist. You goddamn right. You're a bigot. You motherfucking right. I'm a bigot. I'm the biggest bigot you will ever meet. All the word bigot means when you go into it, it means someone who has strong beliefs of something and won't consider anyone else's. And you damn right. We got the truth. So why the hell am I gonna consider what you talking about? Does that make any sense? Hell no, it don't. I'm the biggest bigot you will ever meet. Call me bigot Shaquat. God damn it, Shaquat bigot. That's me. And it says, let's see, modern feminist work continues to address issues such as equal pay, which honestly, women are getting paid more than us. If we've been honest, the hell, and they're getting more opportunities. Reproductive rights, bullshit. Challenging gender stereotypes and ending violence against women, which women are the one that's committing the most violent acts against men. All right, women getting niggas set up. They don't even have to do it themselves. Women setting niggas up, calling the cops on niggas, knowing what's gonna happen. It's so many situations. Lying on people, lying on men, etc. Y'all the biggest example of this. It's crazy work. Well, we already went over this, so yeah, we don't have to go into the whole history of it, but
Bible Belt. Yes, I grew up Baptist, Christian, black family, conservative in all the ways, but politically. But honestly, I didn't have any major traumatic or negative experiences with the church. Someone in my life, a parent who I no longer speak to, who is very much misogynistic in all the ways, but also just angry and unhappy, and not to say that
I'm sorry, I'm going to keep stopping this to go into all the words that she's using. And I mentioned misogynist and a misogynist earlier. Oh, I had it right the first time. Okay. All right, misogynistic describes actions, attitudes, or language that show hatred or prejudice. And note, hatred just means a strong disliking. Or prejudice, meaning, let's go into the word prejudice. I don't want to butcher that word. I ain't went into it in a long time, but I know what it means. Bigotry. So basically just preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience, or here, prejudgment, preconception, right? Bias, right? Being biased, right? That's the word I was really looking for, being biased, right? So prejudice just means being biased, right? Or dislike of women, which they didn't even have to mention that because hatred just means a strong dislike, but they don't want to say that, right? And it says it can manifest as biased beliefs, discriminatory behaviors, or explicit hostility, and is rooted in the idea that women are inferior to men. Now, can y'all tell me on what playing field is a woman superior to a man? And stuff in life that really matters. Can somebody let me know this? Women are not the superior leaders, right? They're not the superior protectors. Hell, these bitches most of these women aren't even protecting their children. They're either putting them in death or just giving them to the system. So what are we talking about? or allowing one of them fuck niggas that they dealing with to do whatever they want to their child and act like they don't see it. So what are y'all good at on a scale of something that really matters in comparison to men? What are y'all better at? Y'all are not on the level of a man. You're not physically stronger, you're not mentally stronger, and you're damn sure not emotionally stronger. A lot of women think they have emotional intelligence just because they're emotional. No, you just emotional. You're actually the opposite of one that has emotional intelligence. You don't understand your emotions. You don't know why you act that way. And you're always trying to start things, not realizing or even understanding why you're doing it. Sit there, get in an argument with a woman and just genuinely sit there and be like, baby, say you got a wife, just, argument. She just going, emotions flaring for no reason. Say, baby, genuinely think right now and think about all the things you've been talking about. And you relay back to me why this is necessary. What is the point in all this? Why are you doing this? They can't answer it. Or they're going to give you some BS answer to try to keep the argument going. This is how women are. These women are insane. What did King Solomon say about these women in Ecclesiastes 7? Their heart is snares and nets, and their hands is bands. You can't make this up, man. So yeah, we're misogynist, and the Bible is misogynistic. So what does that mean? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is misogynistic, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, this wouldn't even have been viewed this way if it wasn't for Esau. This was just the natural order. Esau fucked you women's heads up so much that now you have words that can demonize order. It's just order. Now it's trying to be now you all are attempting to demonize it. Because that's y'all just been programmed by the so-called white man at the end of the day. So let's keep playing.
That's true for this person all the time, but certainly majority of the time, introduced me to this cult. It's so true when people say that we create the gods that we want, or we create gods in.
And also, these people like to use the word cult often concerning us, which I think she was talking about that church, Christian church she was with. But regardless, all the word cult means is a group of individuals that reverence something of a higher power. That's all the word cult means. So something that is above them in order. They reverence them. A group of individuals reverence something that is above them in order. They're in a higher stature, higher power. So everybody, technically, if you have multiple people that believe in something and that reverence them, have a respectful fear, healthy fear of them, reverence, they respect them, you're in a cult. Just off that. If you're on a basketball team, you respect your coach, you're in a fucking cult. You're in a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't understand the meaning of these words. There are wicked cults, yes, and there are righteous cults. But there are also wicked cults. I'm going to say that one again. So you have to understand the word cult. Because y'all just be throwing it around like it's hurting somebody. It's not. We are a cult. And you're in a cult too. You're in a wicked one though.
Image, whatever God we serve is more than likely has very similar morals to us, no matter how corrupt. And 100% this person clinged to the God of the Hebrew Israelites because of how masculine and misogynistic and honestly dismissive of any other person besides the black man this God was. It fell right into this cult. It's so true.
Goddamn, Elder. This motherfucker playing fast as shit. Salakia, I can't catch what she's saying. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Elder Zachba got this motherfucker on 2 speed.
People say that we create the gods that we want, or we create gods in our image. Whatever God we serve is more than likely has very similar morals to us, no matter how corrupt. And 100% this person clinged to the God of the Hebrew Israelites because of how masculine and misogynistic and...
Right, how masculine. So yeah, when a man is really masculine, he's going to be viewed as misogynistic because he knows the rightful order between man and woman. I was just watching the Elder Apostle Tahar's video yesterday, and he was talking about how women don't even understand why they were created. They don't even understand their lot here on earth. They don't know why they're here. All you women were created for, I don't care how so-called misogynistic or whatever this shit sounds, how sexist this sounds. When you go into the scriptures, the whole reason you women were created was to be a helpmeet. And as Apostle Tahar said, emphasis on the meat. You were created to open your fucking legs. Spread your legs, bend over, spread your cheeks. Whichever way you want to do it, that's what you were created for. You were created to get nutted in, bear children. And then you were also created to take care of those children, because the men have real shit to deal with. Whether it look like a lot or doesn't, from the outside looking in, it's real deal shit we have to deal with. You deal with the children. And when the boy gets to a certain age, let me at him. That's how it goes. You were also created to take care of the house and make sure things are ran in an orderly fashion at home. This is what you were created for. I don't care how bad it sounds today in today's time. This is the truth. Y'all don't even know why y'all were here, because Esau gave y'all a voice. You don't need a voice. You need to shut up. That's what you need. Shut up. Women be thinking they're so smart when you're not. You're not smart. Job 39:17. The Lord deprived you of wisdom. And that was talking about an ostrich. But we know that ostriches, women were compared to ostriches in the scriptures. So that was talking about women. Because when you go to the book of Lamentations chapter 4, it compares the Israelite woman to an ostrich. So that's how we know Job 39 was talking about you women. You don't have no wisdom. So that's why you don't get nothing. It's masculine, misogynistic. Yeah, man. You goddamn right. We woke up to the fact that you bitches ain't all what it's cracked up to be. No, we grew up in this society believing that women were just so innocent, delicate, and just amazing creatures until you have that first canon event, and then you like, oh shit, oh hell no, these bitches ain't shit. Any man you come across that is not a simp ass nigga, any man you come across who has a true understanding of women went through those canon events and saw the true nature of a woman and realized you bitches are evil. Y'all gotta stop trying to hide behind this whole I'm so soft and I'm so feminine. You evil, man. And I'm not talking to you sincere sisters out there, so don't think I am. I'm talking to bitches like this. Good Lord, man.
Honestly dismissive of any other person besides the black man this God was. It fell to the Hebrew Israelites because of how masculine and misogynistic and honestly dismissive of any other person besides the black man this God.
The so-called Negro man, Latino man, and Native American man, not just the so-called black.
Was. It fell right into his misogynistic, narcissistic worldview perfectly. And
here goes another demonic word that they're trying. Here goes another word that they're trying to use to demonize us men, who truly have the truth. Us, what would be considered masculine men, right? Sigma males. All right, because Sigma is one level above an alpha. All right. Just another word to demonize us. And when you go into the word narcissistic or narcissism, someone who's a narcissist is someone who has everything revolving around themselves, and they're basically somewhat selfish. Now you have good narcissism and bad narcissism. If a man puts himself first before his woman, that's not a bad form of narcissism. He's supposed to do that. If the head dies, you're gonna end up dying too. I never seen a creature get stabbed in his head and still alive. You may cut a snake up off the neck and it may move a little bit, but if you stab the snake in his fucking head, it's through. You watch The Walking Dead. What was the only way you could kill those zombies in The Walking Dead? By fucking puncturing its skull. Puncturing the brain. Right? So without the head, the rest of the body is cooked. So Yeah, the man is supposed to put himself first. You could try to use whatever words you would like to demonize it, but it's not going to work. Salaki for not grabbing those scriptures. Salaki for continuing to pause this video so much. But these are things that have to be. This is a deconstruction, goddamn. We are deconstructing from this wicked ass society in the ways of Babylon the Great. That's what the deconstruction needs to be about. Not about deconstructing yourself from the ways of the scriptures. That's already happened. We need to deconstruct from the ways of Esau, Edom.
To get into all the beliefs of the Hebrew Israelite God, because I can make a whole another, I can make some videos on that. But I think when this person in my life, a prominent person in my life, started to believe these ideals and then bring them to me, it was the first time that I ever really questioned my beliefs. Honestly, not in the way of like, is God real and blah, blah, blah. It was more so them still positioning themselves as followers of the Bible, but they had a totally different interpretation than the one that I had grown up believing. For the most part, the Christianity that I grew up in was pretty loving and pretty accepting and pretty traditional for it.
And that's the problem. Y'all all just so lovey-dovey, accepting, and yada, yada, yada. Y'all don't even know the definition of the word love. Ask one of these Christian hoes or niggas, what's the definition of the word love? 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna know. Even though it's a simple meaning. A deep affection, having a deep liking. It's literally a polar opposite to the word hate. And then you say, well, okay, you know that, right? So how do you show love to the Lord? They can't tell you. When you go to 1 John 5 and 3, John 14 and 15, John 15 and 13 through 14, and so on and so forth. The love for the Heavenly Father is to keep his commandments. Do what he commanded you to do. Meaning do the right thing. Keep the laws to the best of your abilities. Be as righteous as you possibly can. They don't know that because they go to church and they just clap, sing, and dance. All right. And the pastor brings out one scripture, the same scripture repeatedly that he's brought out for the last 10 years. And y'all go about your day, be wicked throughout the week, get trains ran on you on Saturdays and wake up Sunday morning. And now you're all of a sudden cleansed again. This is bullshit. It's a bullshit ass cycle, man. All right.
Like for a black Southern family with, a sprinkle of misogyny and like a sprinkle of homophobia, but once again, I was not scorned.
I'm not scared of those type. I'm not scared of a mo. A phobia is a fear of something. Now, if you look up the word HOMO, phobia or phobic, you're gonna see it says it's probably gonna say something about the disliking or disdain, but that's Esau's demonic ways. It's a compound word, which means to fear those people. I don't care what Google tells you. It's a compound word which means to fear those people. And the thing is, we don't fear those people. We just dislike them strongly. But that's their lot. I'm not going to go outside and see a mo. And technically, according to the law, we're supposed to just put him down or her. We're not just going to go outside and do that. We're going to keep moving on about our day because the Lord said, live peaceably with all men. It ain't the time for that. We're under Esau's rule. Well, like I said, another word to demonize the men of the Lord.
By the church. But imagine my surprise when this very important person in my life started saying small things like we shouldn't eat pork and we shouldn't eat shellfish and, okay, sure.
You shouldn't eat those things. They're not even good for you. All the things you just named were bottom feeders. They're very detrimental to your body and they release a lot of parasites in you. So you shouldn't be eating that.
Those are things that are not necessarily new for Abrahamic religions, but also things that felt very harsh. Essentially, all but saying women are first-class citizens, and that everybody except...
Well, the Bible's harsh. The Bible's harsh, yeah? Let me go to Revelation 10. The Bible's harsh. Revelation 10 and 9. And I went up... It's hot as fuck in this car. Salakia. And I went up unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. All right. And I took the little book, and this book is the Bible, of course, out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. So this book is a bitter book. It's a harsh book. All right? You want to be taught smooth things. I'm going to go to that. Smooth things. In Isaiah 30. Isaiah 30 and 8. Now go write it before them, before who? The Israelites, in the table. All right? And note it in the book. All right? So this is the Bible. That it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. All right? Which is the end times, which we're in now. That this is a rebellious people. Who? The Israelites. Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. And does it sound like she wants to hear the law of the Lord? No. She has every word at her disposal to try to demonize the law of the Lord. You're homophobic. You're misogynist. You're a narcissist. You're masculine. When the fuck did being masculine ever become a bad thing? The hell's wrong with you? What? And then it says, which say to the seers, which are the prophets, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So they don't want to be told the truth. They want to be told false things that'll make them comfortable. They want to be taught things that'll make them comfortable, even at the expense of truth. It says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One in Israel to cease from before us. So they don't want Yahweh by Shemi Shai in their lives. They want Satan in their lives. They want to keep being cultivated by their daddy Esau. It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, emphasis on perverseness, because this is all perverse mindset. You're looking at a woman with a very perverse mind. And when you go into, I think it's in Isaiah 19, it speaks about how the Lord mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt, right? And it says, before this iniquity, and stay there on, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall. Now what's a breach? A big, huge wall, like a barrier. And if it falls on you, you're through. So all of those iniquities, man, it represents that wall. All right, you got so many iniquity, which iniquity means sin upon sin. You know, a bunch of sins stacked up upon each other. You stacked up so many sins that it's like a big ass wall. And if that big wall falls on you, which your iniquity is going to fall on you, you're through. You have no help. Swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And this judgment is going to come upon you women especially, because this is what this is what this lesson is for. This judgment is going to come upon you when you least expect it. This mindset is going to get you fucked up.
For Black Americans, or I'm sorry, members of the 12 tribes, they don't have to be Black Americans, are essentially spawns of Satan and doomed to hell. And while the latter of what I said doesn't necessarily have any basis in the Bible, but arguments can be made for God or Jesus, or I'm sorry, members of the 12 tribes, they don't have to be Black Americans, are essentially spawns of Satan and doomed to hell.
Nobody's doomed to hell. Nobody's doomed to, unless the hell you're talking about is the lake of fire, which will take place on earth in World War III. Unless you're talking about that, which is a hellacious situation to be in. Unless you're talking about that, there's no such thing as a spiritual place where you go in the middle of the earth. How the hell is this spiritualness in the middle of the earth? Anyway, there's no such thing as a spiritual realm in the middle of the earth where Satan is all red looking with horns standing there with a pitchfork laughing at a nigga while you just burn for the rest of eternity. That place is not real. That's Roman Catholic dogma. All right, that's mythology, man. Meaning bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a myth. It's bullshit. It's not real. This is something that was created by Esau as a scare tactic to scare people, mainly Israelites, into believing in his bullshit. Have you not got that yet? We don't teach that shit. Now I know the IUIC may teach a form of that. I know the I think Sakari and ISUPK. I'm not too sure, but we don't teach that shit at Great Millstone. We don't teach that shit. If you ask her, you want to talk so much about hell, what's the Greek word for the word hell? She doesn't know. What's the Hebrew word for the word hell? She doesn't know. Well, if you knew those words, it would give you a better understanding on what it means. And you don't know what the hell it means. So maybe you should look into those words and understand the history behind it and where so-called hell was actually located at on earth and what it was used for. Do your own research on it, lady, if you ever come across this video.
While the latter of what I said doesn't necessarily have any basis in the Bible, but arguments can be made for God or Jesus only coming back for his people, which people interpret as only the 12 tribes. Other parts are pretty explicit and honestly kind of unexplainable. For the first time, I was actually looking at my sacred text that I believed very critically. I'm starting to think things like, well, why are women considered second-class citizens? And why does the Bible believe that the men should be the lead?
Women aren't even technically second-class citizens. Like I said, these are terms that were created by Esau to demonize and plague your mind to demonize order. It's all to demonize order, because that's Esau. He's a madman. He's a madman, right? Esau is a madman. He's perverse. The scriptures say there's no one as profane as Esau. That's in Hebrews, the 12th chapter. He created all these terminologies, these different terminologies to demonize order. So like I had a little brain fart, but to demonize order. All right, y'all weren't seen as a second-class citizen in the ancient world. You were just in order. You were still a citizen, a first-class citizen. If you were an Israelite woman, of course. If you were a heathen woman, yeah, you second-rate. Clearly, we can't even marry you. We could just pop you and have babies. That's it, and make you a maid. But to you Israelite women who were able to get married, you weren't second-class citizens. You were a first-class citizen. You were just in your rightful order. Like I said, these are just words that Esau created to demonize Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, his servants, and just the whole concept of order. Good Lord. And you don't even see that. In this, she's definitely a Jake. She's an Evite for sure.
And providers. When everywhere I look around, whether it's at my home, whether it's at work, and media, women, to me at least, seem to be the more capable, discerning, unemotional leaders. And then I start to think, well, if hell does exist,
y'all the most capable and discerning, unemotional leaders. Why do you want a nigga who just gonna be emotional and act off impulse? Because when an individual is emotional, they act off impulse. Impulse kills. If you want to act off impulses and off a hunch, 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna bow well for you. It's not gonna go well for you, right? So why would you want emotional leaders? It doesn't make any sense. And a leader who doesn't really show forth emotions and operate off emotions, that doesn't mean he's not emotional. Men are more emotional than women. We are. Because y'all came from us. So how the hell can you be more of something than us and you came from us? That's Genesis 2. It's like I'm quoting a lot of scripture. I'm not going to scripture, but I'm quoting them. So forgive me for that. Just Lord willing, that's enough for you. Right? But how does this make any sense? Men are more emotional than women. The difference is men have higher emotional intelligence than women do. Women are less emotional than men, but they don't know how to control their emotions. The Lord didn't make them that way. So it appears that they're more emotional. So just because a man isn't just splatting out his emotion and being impulsive, it doesn't mean he doesn't have emotions. He's not emotional. It just means he has a high emotional intelligence. And that's what you need in a leader. You don't need a leader who's impulsive. Because then he doesn't ever think about the greater good of everyone. He only thinking about what's going to satisfy his lust in that moment. And he could put everybody in a very bad situation. You don't want a leader like that. That showed you why women were told in the scriptures to take their top lip, take their bottom lip, and glue them bitches together and shut the fuck up. This is why. Shut the fuck up, bitch. God damn, bro. Shut up, bitch. Y'all were the ones in the scriptures that were told to shut up. It wasn't even men getting told to shut up. Last time I checked, when Miriam and Aaron were talking shit about Moses, Aaron didn't get judged. Miriam got judged. And yet, men are the ones that talk less. But we weren't even told to talk less. But we talk less and you talk more. That's a fucking problem. I'm a motherfucking misogynist. You goddamn right. I get sick of you bitches. Just give me the box and go home. God damn.
Did God truly make groups of people that live in, like, say, India or Asia or any place that Christianity is not the predominant religion, just to doom them to hell after they die? And then I started to think, well, if God is an all-loving, all-knowing God,
the thing is, he's not all loving. Where the hell is this at in the Bible? The fuck are you talking about, man? Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. Proverbs 20:23. Diverse weights are an abomination unto Yahweh, and a false balance is not good. What the hell are you talking about, man? What are we talking about? He's all love. If somebody can be all love, that means they have no hate. Is that balance? Absolutely not. Wait a minute. The Lord is all love, but why did the book of Exodus say this? Exodus 15:3. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Why did Exodus 15:3 say that the Lord is a man of war? Last time I checked, not too many loving things happen in the time of war. When you go to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, why would the Lord allow this to stay in the Bible if he doesn't agree with this? Ecclesiastes chapter 3:1, and we're going to jump down. A time for everything. To every season, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Let's go down. I'm going to go straight to the point. All of this is good, but I'm going to go straight to the point. Verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. So how the hell is the Lord all loving? And he said there's a time of love and a time of war. Matter of fact, the Lord said he hated an entire nation of people. And I'm going to go to Romans 9 instead of Malachi, because the Old Testament. Well, here the New Testament, motherfucker. Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. The Lord hates a whole race of people. And what can you say about it? Well, let's see. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that sheweth mercy. And then it goes into Esau being wicked, and then it goes into more about how the Most High don't owe your motherfucking ass a damn thing, man. He don't owe you shit. He don't even owe you an answer, man. God is all loving. Where is that at in the Bible? I never came across that scripture. What the fuck are we talking about? God is all loving. Fuck out of here, man. The fuck he ain't. The fuck he ain't. If Yahweh was all loving, why the hell did Sodom and Gomorrah and the other 3 neighboring cities get fucking destroyed? If Yahweh was all loving, why did Yahweh flood everybody and save 8 souls, man? If he was all loving, why in the fuck did he create a nation of people that were just meant to be wicked? Just so he could fuck them up. That sound all loving to you, man? If Yahweh was all loving, why the hell did he destroy every firstborn child of the Egyptians? Whether they were adults, older, elders, young children, whatever, babes. Why did he destroy the firstborn of every Egyptian family, but then save only the Israelites if he was all loving? How does this make sense? I don't get it. This is retarded. If the Most High was all loving, why the fuck did he plague the entire nation of the Philistines, go read 1 Samuel, with hemorrhoids? They couldn't even take a shit. If the Lord was all loving, here goes the last one. If he was all loving, why the hell did he have Antiochus Epiphanes rotting from the inside out by way of worms. Flesh-eating worms chewing up his body from the inside out had him literally rotting alive. If he's all love. Does this sound like an all-loving power to you? Absolutely not. And how the hell can he be all-loving and all-knowing at the same time? That's bullshit. You can't be both.
And first of all, if he's all-knowing, then essentially those going to hell are predestined to go to hell because he knows that they're going to hell already. And if he's all-loving, why even create a place like that? And also, what finite sin deserves an infinite punishment? And then I started looking at stories in the Bible and thinking, you just destroyed a city and you saved one family. I'm talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. And you turned an empathetic woman who happened to...
Bitch wasn't empathetic. That bitch was a rebellious little fucking bitch. That's why the Lord toasted that hoe. Yeah, you talking about Lot's wife. Fuck that bitch. Fuck Lot's wife. Fuck her. She rebellious. Fuck her. I hate you rebellious bitches. If I hate any woman, it's a rebellious one. Fuck a rebellious bitch. I'm glad the Lord cooked her ass. I can't wait to see more of you bitches get cooked in Jacob's trouble. Fuck you. Yeah, empathetic. Fuck that bitch. She looked back because she was reminiscing about the bullshit she had there. And the Lord said, don't turn your motherfucking ass around. And she turned around. That's what the fuck she get.
look back when she heard the screams of the people dying.
Man, she didn't hear no fucking scream. She looked back because they had a lot of riches and wealth there, and she didn't want to leave her carnal wealth. So the Lord left her motherfucking ass there. That's what the fuck happened. She ain't give a fuck about a motherfucking screaming. Where the hell is that at in the Bible, man? Where she turned around because niggas started screaming. That is not in the Bible.
Pillar of salt, simply because you told her not to look back and she looked back. And then I took it back to the very first sin, because as an all-knowing God, you knew that they were going to take a bite from the fruit, and you knew that that would in turn damn all of
Talking about simply because he said not to look back. If your daddy said don't go in that fridge and touch my fucking whatever he had in the fridge, and you go in the fridge and touch that shit, you 9 times out of 10 finna get your ass whooped. All because he simply told you not to touch an item that was his in the fridge. Point is, you get judged for being rebellious. That's what happens, and it's deserved.
And baby, that's just the tip of the iceberg. A common thread that I find with these deconstructing videos is people just starting to think a little bit critically and not being afraid to do so. And let me tell you, somebody who grew up in the church, it is a little bit scary to question your entire belief system. But when cults like the Hebrew Israelites, colonialists, white supremacists, slave owners all have terrible ideals that claim to be biblically based, it makes you wonder why an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving, like the Hebrew Israelites, colonialists, white supremacists, slave owners all have terrible ideals that claim to be biblically based. It makes you wonder why.
I mean, it is biblically based. All right, Slakia. It is biblically based, all right? Because what we talk about, we bring it right out in the scriptures. What are you talking about, man? You're the only one that hasn't brought a scripture out yet, bitch. Because you don't believe in the Bible in the first place.
All-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving God would create a sacred text that could be used to harm, that he knew would be used to harm so many people. That started my deconstruction. Let me know if you want more.
This hoe is retarded. I'm going to go to what I was actually going to get into before I started this lesson. We're going to deal with the title of this lesson and we're going to end it off. Salakia for getting off course so much. But good Lord, it just got to be talked about. So the Electra complex is a psychoanalytic theory describing a young girl's unconscious desire for her father and rivalry with her mother. All right? Considered the female counterpart to the Oedipus complex concerning little boys, right? Or grown men. Grown men even still suffer from the Oedipus complex. All right, developed by Carl Jung, the theory suggests that Actually, this was developed by Sigmund Freud. This wasn't developed by Carl Jung. Carl Jung had a different take on this. So that's probably why I didn't go into, Carl Jung had a different take on this. Sigmund Freud came out with the first take concerning the Electra complex. So let's see what Sigmund Freud said. Yeah, then fuck what Jung said. Jung started bullshitting. Right there, so the desire for a father and mother, a concept developed by Carl Jung. That was I'm going to explain it to you because you do your own research and you could see if what I explain to you in my own words is actually true. And I'm telling you it is true because I read it from the goddamn textbooks. All right. So, because Google and AI here, it ain't trying to give you the answer. They trying to bullshit the answer. I'm going to tell you the answer. So it is what it said at the beginning, right? Where a girl has unconscious desire for her father, and in turn, that's a rivalry with her mother. That's why you have so many mother-daughter rivalries. But as the daughter gets older, she comes into a thing called penis envy, right? Now I'm gonna look up penis envy, right? It's the opposite of the castration theory that little boys so-called go through, according to Sigmund Freud. He's an Edomite. Could be a Jake, but he appears to be Edomite from what we've all known of him. Right? He has some good takes and he has some BS takes. But this is a take that's actually true. All right, penis envy can refer to a Freudian psychosexual development theory in Freudian theory, it is a stage where girls supposedly realize they lack a penis, meaning they thought they've been castrated. Complex is that a boy believes he's about to get castrated by his father, and he's always fighting with his father because he has a strong desire for his mother. Some weird shit, but I've actually seen these type of things take place. So it's like it's some truth in what this nigga's saying, right? So in turn, with the penis envy, the girl believes she's already been castrated. Like the father cut her penis off or something to make her inferior. So then that strong desire she had for her father and hatred towards her mother transfers to hatred towards her father and strong love for her mother, and siding with her mother most of the times instead of her father, and hating men because they think we did something to them. Let's read this. It is the stage where girls supposedly realize they lack a penis, leading to anxiety and a transition in their development and attachment to their parents. How I explained it best was that this is all. Let me see. Let me type this in. Lead to being a feminist. Anyway, see, I can't stand this shit. I can't stand Esau always trying to BS on this shit. Yes, penis, I'm going to say yes, because it's the truth. Penis envy does lead to feminism because they want men and women to be equal, and they feel that they're inferior to men, which they are. And that's just how it is. All right, you have penis envy. You're upset and you're mad at the power that men have that you don't. So you suffer from the Electra complex, thus leading to another aspect, sub-level of the Electra complex, which is penis envy. That's what you suffer from. At the end of the day, little lady. That's what you are, little lady. Why don't you go drop some dick on that hoe? You bitch is stupid. Y'all aren't on the same level as men. I'm gonna pull out a few precepts to show you you're just not on our level. She said other stuff, but I'm just gonna stay on this topic. 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. With who? The women. Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So you are the weaker vessel. You're considered, in comparison to the men, the weaker vessel. That's what you consider, right? When you go to 1 Corinthians 11:3, and this is also referenced in Ephesians chapter 6, chapter 5 or chapter 6, it's one of the two. But it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. It's chapter 5 of Ephesians. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. So it's Yahushua. That's our head. And the head of the woman is who? Us, the men. And the head of Yahushua is Yahweh, right? Anyway, so as you see in the order, we're above you. We're above you in the order. Right? Another one. You go to Genesis 3:16. We're going to read this in the KJ and the NL. Right? In the KJV, it says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So you're going to be ruled over by your husband. He's above you. That's why. Your desire is to be to him. But that's not talking about any ordinary desire, like you long to be with your husband. No. You long to be above your husband. That's what that desire is talking about. That's a part of the curses, that you desire to be that way. Because before, you weren't that way. Now you've been cursed to want to be above your husband. It says it more plain in the NLT. Then he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. So you desire to control your husband, to be above your husband. But he's going to rule over you anyway, because we're above you, man. We're above you. It's sexist. So what? We're above you, man. When you go to Genesis 2, take this off of here. When you go to Genesis 2, starting at verse 18, and the Lord power, Yahweh power said, it is not good that a man should be alone. I will make an helpmeet for him. Now, what is another word for helpmeet? Servant. What is another way to say servant? Slave. What is another way to say the word woman? Maid. What is another way to say maid? Servant. What is another way to say servant? Slave. So you women were created to be slaves to men. Whether you like it or not, you were created to be slaves to men. That's your whole reason for creation, to be a slave to your husband. First your father, then your husband. That's the order. When you go down to get to the next point, it says in verse 22, in the rib which Yahweh power had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And that's symbolic. That he didn't take Adam's rib literally. For you people who think that shit, no, it just meant they were very close relatives. Adam and Eve weren't the only ones alive back in this time. All right. Luke the first chapter, either Luke the first chapter or Luke the 9th chapter. No, Luke the first chapter around in the 60s. Right, one of those verses, it speaks about a prophet being back in the time of Adam. Roughly paraphrasing. So there were other people around at this time. I mean, proof of that would be the fact that a man was able to come beguile Eve, because the serpent wasn't no literal snake. It was a man, representative of Esau, Edom. The fact that he was there and able to beguile Eve shows you they weren't the only humans back then. Clearly, they were just very close relatives, and that was okay. That's why in verse 25 it says, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. They were too close of relatives. So it was a sin they committed, but it was okay in the eyes of the Lord, because first of all, the law had not been established, and that's just how it had to happen at that time. It just had to happen that way at that period of time. Right? Her hair look a hot mess. Who the fuck? That shit look a hot mess. God damn. Anyway, she trying to sway that bitch. That shit look bad. You can't fix that one, honey. You gotta pack it up. Anyway, we'll get back to the point. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So your name is literally a representation of from the man, derived from man, counterpart of man, lesser than man, offspring of man, smaller than man. You can't make this shit up. Whoa, man, because you came from the man. Female, because you came from a male. Woman, because you came from men. It's not hard to understand the concept here, right? We're above you in order, and that's just the facts. And there's a plethora of other scriptures I can grab on that, but I'm afraid it's a long ass video, but it's all right through the spirit. So I'm gonna end it off there. Lord willing, this was edifying to you all. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Baruch HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us his truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Abba Bo, Kwam Yasharala, Gadol Abadium, Lababal Hagadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wa Habathum. And until next time,